So I want to play this. Should we wait for?
Oh shit.
Okay, everybody. This is Hippie. We'll get to the movie in a second. Should we wait for this for a live? Is this whatever? Let's play it.
I don't know. I don't care either way. It's when I didn't have hair.
In 1950, the 214-acre.
Okay, so give a
1889 is the first burial, by the way, not 1950.
Did they? Okay, so you at this point when this was made, you were assistant director, right?
Yeah, I was the assistant director, so I did all the work because the directors were retired on active duty already. So
yeah,
I had two directors that were already retired, so I did everything. You know how assistants work. But yeah, so this was an expansion project that I was managing. $9 million fucking massive fucking contract, putting in crypts and cremation sites. Good times. But the cemetery opened in 1889. That was the first burial. It was a post cemetery. It became a national cemetery in 1952, but it's been a military cemetery since the 1880s. So they never get all this shit right, ever.
Were you a 14 at this point, or were you still 13?
I was a 13 at this point.
13, okay. Then became a 14. Or as we like to call
I got the director gig.
Fort Logan National Cemetery in Denver has become the final resting place for more than 130,000 veterans and their spouses.
Oh, it's running out of space, especially with cremation.
Look at this motherfucker. Look at this motherfucker. Look at Dirty Hippie being Clean Hippie. Uh-oh, doxed you.
Dun, dun, dun. Like nobody knew my name already.
Right. You know what, though? I wonder if I bet you they did. I bet you a lot of people actually probably didn't, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
A lot of people have found me. Yeah.
Oh, have they? I mean, it's not. Neither one of us are trying to hide or anything, so it's not like.
No, we got nothing to hide, and we're not doing anything that we need to hide from.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
The Stone Vet and Dirty Hippie are just goofy ass fucking character names for a silly ass show.
So good, yeah. Good, bad, and ugly. I don't really care what anybody knows. We are what we are. But the nice thing is both of us have had very successful careers. And so it helps that we don't need validation from it. We just like doing this shit. This is the show we started.
Yeah.
The movie show is just talking. It's just watching movies, talking shit with people. You know, not talking shit, but just shooting the shit. But this is Hippie being fucking government hippie.
Government
hippie. Cremations become extremely popular. We do about 60% cremations in our burials.
Performing 20 to 25 interments a day, the cemetery was quickly running out of real estate.
25 a day?
The Veterans Administration turned to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Omaha District.
That was the average. We did up to 40 a day.
Expanding their capacity by.
You did up to 40 a day?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I think our busiest day was 43.
Oh my God. I would never have guessed that. I would have never.
Yeah, when I got to Logan, we were doing 4,400 burials a year.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so now also let people know when you were assistant director and then director, you had more than one cemetery. Logan was the headquarters.
Yes, it was the main cemetery, but we had multiple cemeteries. When I got there, we had Fort Lyon, which was in southeastern Colorado, and Yellowstone. Then we picked up Army cemeteries in Montana and Utah. We got Fort Douglas in Salt Lake City and Fort Missoula in Missoula, Montana. And then I built the first national cemetery in Wyoming in Cheyenne National Cemetery. And we broke ground for the first actual national cemetery in Utah down in Cedar City. That should be done this year and open this year. That was just for Logan. So that's what I was saying. 6 cemeteries in 4 states.
Yeah.
I was also an instructor. I taught cemetery caretakers all across the country, foremen, directors.
Really?
Yeah, it was a gig.
You are an accomplished hippie.
I was. Now I'm just a hippie.
I was just eating dinner with my parents last night. They're asking about the show and everything, asking about you, and because they don't know, I was telling stories. I was like, yeah, he was a cop, he was an alderman, he was a 14, he was a combat vet. I'm like, and my dad's like, what are you doing? I'm like, God damn it.
Now we're just stoners, pops.
I know. I was like, I had a good career. Anyway,
Well, here's the difference.
Another
I
couple.
never finished anything.
yeah. Well, I mean, I've talked about it too. I mean, I didn't retire. I left the door open to come back in. And
Yeah.
I guess we both did. For different reasons, but we both
I'm trying to get
laughed.
back in.
Yeah. Well, I got back in, and then yeah, I was too much. I was so far gone with drunkenness and PTSD. I would say alcoholism. I mean, most people would say that, but like, I don't get addicted to the alcohol. I can just drink a lot and abuse it, but I don't ever. But anyway, it was my heaviest drinking, the least treated PTSD time. I was in complete denial. But anyway, so yeah.
And I have noticed when I left, my intent was to go back. I have zero desire to go back and work for that fucking government ever the fuck again.
Never. No, it took me
Separation has been great.
I think for both of us, it's funny that we both did it that way, because I think that actually kind of signals sort of who we are. It's like, oh, I'm not done yet. I'm not fucking done yet. But then you're done.
No.
Physically, mentally, you're
done.
It takes a couple of years to fucking for me, it took years to sort of detangle myself from all of that, but like fully. And where I am now, I have zero. I mean, we've talked about it, but I have zero fucking compunction to go. Like, I'm like, cool. It's a young man's game. Let the young men do it. Like, no desire, nothing to prove, no desire. So now we just watch movies and we watch videos about ourselves as
4
professional
years
people.
worth of internment.
Our former selves.
The $9 million expansion.
Oh, we're totally done with it. Look how cool we are.
And 14,000 cremation burial spots.
Well,
I didn't know
that
is interesting. I did not know that's how they did that. I did not know that's how.
So that's how we do it now. So those are double depth crypts. So that's enough space for a veteran and their spouse. And everybody, even if you're not married, you're going to go into one of these. That's just how it works. It saves space, and it's a maintenance thing. So you don't have the sunken graves. When you have a casket in a grave and you put a vault in there, it's never exactly the same depth. It's there's always variables. This alleviates many of the variables. It's never perfect. I mean, you're putting a shit ton of concrete on top of gravel under the ground. It burns grass, because if you think about Colorado, we get more sunny days than Florida. And these things are sitting out in the wide open in the sun underneath the turf. That turf just soaks up the sun, and it is just superheated. So we fight, turf problems, hot spots, dead spots. There's no perfect solution, but this solves a lot of the problems. So yeah, and it also gives you a ton of space. Those are 3 foot by 8 foot graves.
Yeah.
Instead of a standard, like if you went to a standard cemetery, you're looking at 4 by 8, 5 by 10. So you're getting twice the burials.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. I didn't know that they did it that way. I've always wondered. I don't know why I never asked you. I mean, if like all the people to ask, but it's always something when I see it, I'm like, how do they get it? How do they get it that perfectly aligned? And then I figured it had to be something. And then I'm like, how are they getting these things? Because like you're saying, when you go to a regular cemetery, there's a unevenness about it all, which is fine. It doesn't need to, but
Yeah.
it's always been impressive to me, these national cemeteries. I've always just been like, those gravestones, by the way,
And then
the
setting the
alignment,
headstones,
powerful.
that's, you know what that is? That's simple Pythagorean theorem in action. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That's all headstone setting is. It is actually the simplest. That's what I taught when I was teaching courses, the foremen and the caretakers. I specifically taught the math part of it. I fucking hate math. I can't do math. But when you can apply it to something that's physical, for me, then it all makes sense. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That means that this headstone is going to sit at this exact spot, and then bam, everything else runs off of that. So you have to have that perfect. And I mean perfect. We have an eighth of an inch tolerance when we're setting headstones.
Wow.
And an eighth of an inch is a shit ton. Because when you think about some of those lines that we have, and you'll see them in this video, you're talking hundreds of headstones in a direction, whether it's north, south, east, west, whatever. And you're setting off of one point. So if you have that one point off of even that eighth of an inch, I allow zero tolerance for that first setting because everything goes off of that.
Yeah.
If you got an eighth of an inch off on every headstone, by the end of 100 headstones, you're way the fuck off.
You're way the fuck off.
So
it's just like land
the math is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's applicable. That's why it worked for me.
Guess what, dude? Hold on. I'll play this and I'll show you.
So we're
Tommy, you ain't getting your TV back. And fuck you.
R.I.P. Lisa. She just passed away. I got notified by two different people. Actually, it was kind of interesting. Well, I mean, Lupe put a comment in, and I guess Helga announced it. She put her on a poster.
Helga and Lisa.
Helga and Lisa. Yeah, sorry. So for those that don't know, Lisa is the one telling Tommy he's not getting his TV back. And it was two elderly trans women. And they were a shit show. But when Lisa was cooking,
yes,
it was fucking great. Lisa was like, you wouldn't want to give Lisa her own show, but to just be able to have somebody like Helga to play off of, who cares?
Right.
She was just great.
Yeah.
Pretty cantankerous. She was there. Also, had been in jail for murder. She stabbed a dude
Prison.
with a screwdriver. After she couldn't kill him with a hammer, by the way. She was kind of
working her way through the toolbox.
Yeah. Reading that court thing of it, I was like, oh my, the court narrative. She's like, I tried to beat him with a hammer, but he wasn't dying, so I grabbed a screwdriver and stabbed him. Like, holy dog shit. Like, that's intense.
Burial spots.
Well, it lengthens our life cycle as a cemetery.
More than 200 of the new cremation plots have been set aside for a pilot program to test urn crypts.
Standard cremains burial is just a urn that's placed into the ground and then you're backfilled there. There's a test program for the VA for a precast urn crypt, similar to the precast crypt that a coffin is put in. And I
that
think the
was an
point there
abortion.
is to provide protection for the urn.
Yeah.
And one of the tests that they wanted to run on these things is how do they perform in cold weather, and Denver is a
look how even though
cemetery officials
there you go,
estimate
guys.
the expansion
Now you can
will allow them to
visualize it.
continue to serve the veteran population in the Denver area through the mid-2020s.
The community's been really excited about this project. They've been looking forward to seeing Fort Logan grow. We had this extra space up here that had been planned for a long time, but to actually see it come to fruition has been important to the community. And then the results out here is beautiful. The job that was done is amazing. And we owe a lot to the Corps of Engineers for their help. Without them, this project wouldn't have ran as smoothly as it did.
The cemetery is looking to acquire additional land in hope of being able to expand.
Oh, good old
even
public
further.
relations, man.
Like last, use Army Corps of Engineers, Omaha.
Hell yeah. That's great, though. It's cool. It's cool to see you in fucking government mode, in government hippie mode.
I was looking for another one when I found this one. I did a Memorial Day interview on Channel 9 News, I think, out here in Denver. And dude, I was a nervous wreck. But I'm sitting there. I'm up on. I've done TV interviews before, but we're talking in like places like North Platte, Leavenworth, Kansas City, not these major markets like Denver. And then I'm driving to downtown Denver, my foreman and I, because I wasn't going alone, so I took Dave with me. I was like, "Yeah, you got to learn this shit because you're going to be doing it next." And we get there, and I'm in my fucking all decked out in my suit and shit, and I'm sweating my fucking balls off. It was freezing in that fucking studio, but I was sweating my balls off. I don't know why I was so nervous on that one, but I was a wreck. I can't find it. I got to find it.
This is a little bit different, but the sweating through the suit. So DC gets, obviously, it gets super fucking muggy in the summer. And we drove up from Charlottesville, me and another, I forget who the fuck I was with, but because we had to do the DC court, we had to go do meetings in DC all the time, even though we were stationed down in Charlottesville. And it was so fucking hot, and we couldn't, and then the only parking, it was at State Department, right? It was at State Department headquarters, and we couldn't find any fucking parking. And I'm in a suit, and by the time I get in there, and it's like a light suit. It wasn't seersucker, but anyway, it was like one of those lighter ones. I was drenched, and I was like, I gotta keep the suit coat on because my shirt looks like I jumped in a pool. And I'm sitting, I mean, luckily I didn't have to speak. It was more, we were just we could participate if we wanted, but I was a backseater to this one. But I was just sitting there, and I'm like, and then when you're like that, you're like, everybody sees how big of a ball of sweat I am. And then it makes you sweat more. I mean, it would always make me, I'm like, oh, I can't stop kind of feeling hot. But
yeah, when we graduated from the intern program, now we've been doing it in St. Louis and traveling all over the country to different cemeteries. So the humidity was whatever it was. But when we went to DC at the end of July for this graduation program that they put us through at central office, VA central office. So it was suits every single day, all day long, outside, inside, walking here, walking there, Arlington, the Sunset Parade or whatever they call it, the Marine Corps Memorial.
Friday tattoo. Yeah.
All of these things, all in suits in fucking July, dude. I wanted to fucking kill everybody. I was the crabbiest motherfucker ever.
Oh my God, that would be terrible.
And then give a presentation in those same suits after a day full of bullshit to the secretary of the VA, all the undersecretaries, and all of their underlings in this big VA fucking conference room. Yeah, sweating like a whore in church, man. Fuck DC.
Fuck DC. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I got the experience. I wanted it badly, and I got it. And I'm good with it now. Spreading the word of God, motherfuckers.